Well, it's been the source of excitement all morning long because he's one of the biggest stars
all summer.
all summer long. He's one of the biggest stars of the big screen.
Look, Johnny. Let me come in and get you the hell out of there.
They drew first blood.
Get back! Go! Jesse, run!
That fight should have been stopped. I should have stopped it.
Now Sylvester Stallone is taking on the TV screen, starring in the new Paramount Plus series called Tulsa King.
And he joins us right now. Sylvester Stallone, welcome to the couch.
Man, are you kidding? It's been a long time. Hello,
Thank you
guys.
so much for being on with us.
My pleasure, really. Watch it every morning without fail. Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
that's great. Last night at around 8:15, I put everything on hold.
Yeah.
I told everyone I was asleep, and I watched 2 episodes, 47 minutes long, of Tulsa King. It is unbelievable. People are going to love it. What made you jump into this project, and how would you describe it?
You know, for some reason, gangsters have this aura, like, oh, kind of like cowboy or this, or superheroes. I don't know why, but they do. And I've been left out every time. I remember going into audition for The Godfather as an extra, one of 250 people at the wedding. So finally, I get in line.
You got cut, right?
They said I don't look Italian enough. I go, really?
That's incredible.
I swear to God.
From The Godfather.
I said I'll hide behind the king. I'll just show my foot. Nothing. Anyway, 35 years later, I hired that person, and I reminded them every day how Italian I am.
Wait, you never had a gangster movie in all these years?
Nothing.
Listen, my family, big Sylvester Stallone fans, grew up watching, I think, everything. I've been waiting for the Cobra highlights to come out this week.
He loves Cobra.
But wait, let me just throw Mama from the train. Were you not a gangster?
Oh, you mean Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot,
Thank you
yes.
for bringing that up. Schwarzenegger tricked me to do that piece of junk. That was one of those things like you go, why am I in this? There's a scene they say, would you mind wearing diapers? I'm going to kill Arnold.
Oh.
I'm going to find him attractive.
What do you mean he duped you?
Because he set it up. He's a prankster. And he made it like, oh, he wants to do this desperately. I can't wait to do this film, meaning him. And I go, well, I'm not going to let that happen. So I snatch it. I said, I want this film desperately. And once I got it, I realized I'm in such a turkey, and it's not even, it's not even Thanksgiving, folks. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. But then again, I said, weren't you pregnant in the film, Arnold?
Yeah, that's good. That's true.
What kind of even,
can't find
pal?
those movies.
No.
How do you feel about influencing so many people's lives? I mean, that monologue that is, I think it's in Rocky V, that motivational speech or with your son out on the street.
Right.
I know so many people that have sent that to their kids. My brother loved you in Rambo. I mean, he was 4 years old and watched it all the time. He clearly had an influence on your life.
I just think that I find that a lot of so-called action guys, this and that, the one element that's missing is heart, because underneath all these heroes, there's still a fragile part. And if you can tap into that, then audiences go, I get that. You know, beneath all the muscle and bravado, there's still an inner child there that sometimes needs nurturing. And I even added in this one, you'll see certain components, even in Tulsa King, this gangster is not as tough as you think he is.
And that's the key. And one thing you talked about in First Blood is they wanted to have you dead. And you said, no, you talked to veterans.
I did.
And you said to find out how they really felt about Vietnam and how they were treated when they came back. And that's where that monologue came from.
That's where it came from. I started going, this is what it was. At that time, a lot of veterans were committing suicide, coming home. They were so ashamed. I said, this can't be the final result. In the book, Rambo was a psychopath. He killed everyone, so he almost deserved to be taken out. I said, but that's not the movie I want to do. I was the 11th choice. I mean, they were ready to hire a tortoise. I mean, no one wanted to play this part at all. But I said, if you just change a little bit of a guy who wants to come home, who's trying to desperately come to the mother, which is America, but he's being rejected, everyone can relate to rejection. And then in the end, I said, you can't kill him. You have to give these veterans hope.
On Veterans Day, that's why I wanted that message to come out. And they have great respect for you. Will, if we can, let's just take a look at Tulsa King now. This is a little of the texture of the movie. They made you a gangster finally. And brought you to Oklahoma, where so many of our viewers are. Watch.
I need to see your books.
My books?
Your books, your ledgers, files, whatever you got.
Are you from the government?
I just knocked your guard out cold, and you think I'm a CPA?
So you're not with the government?
Let's take a walk. Take a walk.
So you are. Is it a New York City mobster who now is relocated to Tulsa?
Yeah. What it is, and it wasn't in the original script, but eventually with Terry Winter, we put in some aspects of it where he goes to prison because he keeps his mouth shut for a crime we'll find out he didn't even do, and he's expected some reward for being so loyal. So his reward is exile to Tulsa, which is like Napoleon. Hey guys, we're going to send you to this island, beautiful sunsets, and nothing there. And I get there, and this is where an audience say, wow, there's nothing worse than being thrown out alone, completely abandoned, at 76 years old. Do I go here to die, or do I fight back? And he starts to build a family, though, but of all misfits, I've got cowboys and Indians and nerds and like techies, and you name it. But that becomes his new family. That's what's so interesting.
It's the same writer as Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan?
Well, this one is Taylor Sheridan came up with the concept, and then Terry Winter
is the showrunner.
Terry Winter is the showrunner. See, I didn't realize it's quite different than movies. It really is.
So you've never done TV before?
No. I did the Muppets once, but that's about it.
Did you like it? What's the difference?
It's much harder. It's much harder. It's kind of like what you guys do. It's a real grind. You enjoy doing it, but it's a great deal of effort. For example, the amount of time it took to do this series, I could have done 5 Rocky sequels back to back. In other words,
Really?
Oh, sure. Because you're doing 10 shows, let's say an hour each, which is equivalent to 5 movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no break, and you're in Tulsa in the heat, and you're alone. Your kids don't want to come there. It's too hot.
Nobody wants to visit you.
The dogs say we're not coming either. It says no one wants it.
So multiple seasons we're talking about here.
Oh my God.
Are you already on the second one, or no?
Well, they wanted. I don't know if I'm going to do a second one.
All right,
Maybe just quit. Quit as well. Because you never know. When you do the sequel, go, should I quit? But of course, yeah, I'd love to.
Brian loves you, both of these guys. We all do, but they grew up like you're their hero. And Brian said, you've got to read this one article that was written about him. So I did. And it says you're one of the few actors to star in movies that topped the weekend box office across 6 consecutive decades. This would be the 7th.
7th.
How do you think it'll do?
Oh my God. I think it's going to be really good.
Based on your history.
Yeah, I mean, it's all coming together. And the thing is, it's the only art form where you have to depend on 400 people to make it all work. Right. It isn't like you go there with a piece of canvas and just it's your own vision. It's a lot of elements involved.
Is it hard not being in charge when you are used to sometimes being in charge of the whole production?
I wasn't in charge. Already you're starting with me.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, you are the lead. You don't have to necessarily be the showrunner. You don't write the check. You don't have to.
But I can't help it. Well, you try to put in, you know what I mean? You try to insert your personality where it's necessary. Like, for example, once you see the dialogue once, twice, 3 times, and now it becomes monotonous. So now it's time to ad-lib. Just throw a word in there. Just completely inverted.
We're not allowed to ad-lib on the couch. We have to stick strict to the script.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we don't ad-lib at all, obviously. So imagine people have asked you throughout your career, what's your favorite movie that you have produced, that you have made, which is a little bit, I imagine, like asking you which is your favorite child. So I'm going to ask it a little differently. Which movie do you wish people had paid more attention to, that you loved, that didn't quite make it where you thought would go?
I thought Copland
was really good.
Yeah. And then, actually, no one enjoyed it, but I liked Oscar because it's a type of cinema that they don't do anymore, which is called French farce. It's not meant to give you big boffo laughs. It's just an incredibly fast amount of dialogue thrown. So it's a different dying art form. That would have been nice, but you know, sometimes politics gets involved. For example, the last Rambo, they're going, why is he being so hard on the cartel? I go, excuse me?
I know.
I mean, I go, what? Oh, yeah. Why are you being so mean to them?
It brings up the Rockies, too. You said the Russians and the Soviets were not happy with you.
That was so
funny. Rambo was in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
So talk about that.
But what happened is that was really one of my best action films, but we got caught up in the fact that as we're about to come out, because I said, let's show Russia's Vietnam. we've seen America's Afghanistan. And after 10 years, they left. They got beaten. So we decided to show that. Literally 2 weeks before we're ready to come out, Gorbachev comes over, kisses Nancy Reagan on the cheek. It's perestroika. Everything's wonderful. Everyone loves. And I'm the troublemaker.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Really?
I've been going to press conference. They got booed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, why are you starting up? Starting up.
Long term, they end up cheering.
Look, we want to give Reagan his credit, but if you can change, I can change.
Anybody can change.
It might have ended the Cold War.
Okay, 5 back operations, 3 neck fusions, both shoulders, knees, ankles. How do you keep going? And are you in pain constantly?
I wake up like the Tin Man in the morning.
Right.
Really?
And your wife's laughing over there. Did you agree?
I know. She's so athletic. You know what it is? I just feel really competitive. I wish I could go away. People say, you got nothing left to prove. But you do.
Well, you've proven it once again. Tulsa King premieres really Sunday. Sunday on Paramount Plus. Go get your subscription. Check out another hit by Sylvester Stallone. We're hoping Over the Top 2 comes after this.
You always wonder what happened.
My elbow hurts. I'm sorry.
Whatever happened to that extra that got cut out of The Godfather? Ended up being Sylvester Stallone. That's Tom Brady being drafted in the 6th round.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Man, thank you.
Hopefully you'll be back
God bless
again.
you.
I
Thank
will.
you.
Anytime.
That's going to do it for us this morning.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Stay within yourself.